Hi, I'm Bobby Marinelli. I'm a freelance producer and editor, and today I'm going to be going over with you Adobe Premiere CC's editing software and some of the basic editing concepts and principles within the program. In this course, we will be going over Adobe's software for editing video. Let's get right into it. I'm going to open up Adobe Premiere. On my laptop here, I'm running a MacBook Pro with 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is important because your computer needs the ability to render all of the video footage that you're going to be working with. So if you are going to be attempting to edit something on your computer at home, I do recommend that you have a computer with at least 8 gigabytes of memory, which is pretty standard now, but the more the better. 16, 32 for more complex, or if you're planning on dealing with 4K footage. In this course, we're going to be dealing with HD footage, so it won't be as cumbersome. But I would also recommend that you have enough space to hold the files that you're going to be using. You're going to need a lot of memory, and this computer has 500 gigabytes of storage on it, but I'm going to be using an external hard drive that has 500 gigabytes on it. I would recommend having even more than that. We're just editing something small, but as you build projects and they stack, you're going to have more and more storage that you're going to need to have. So I just launched Premiere Pro from my dock, and you can see here the welcome screen. Right now I'm running Adobe Premiere Pro CC, the 9.2.0 build. It's the most recent update. And just to give you a little background on what Premiere is, it is a nonlinear editing system. What that means is traditionally in editing, when things began, we would edit from one reel to another. And basically you'd have to go in order, taking some footage and stacking it, putting what comes next. In a non-linear editing system, we have the ability to jump around in time and go back and rework and test edits at our will, and we're not locked into a single timeline where any edit we make is destructive to the entire project. And another thing to mention is Premiere Pro is part of the Adobe Creative Cloud suite, which is a cluster of different applications built by Adobe that are made for creatives and are really built to work in conjunction with each other. So if you're familiar with working with Photoshop or Illustrator, you might find some of the techniques and some of the design within these programs familiar. A lot of the tools look the same and might do the same thing. The next lesson, we're going to start building our first project. Okay, so here we are on the welcome screen of the Adobe Premiere Pro software, and I just want to go over with you what we're seeing, what we're looking at here. So this is what will launch right when you open the application, and basically you can see here we have recent items. These are basically tabs. In the recent items, you could see some of the projects I've been working on listed here. So it's just going to make it easy for you to find projects that you've recently worked on. You don't have to go through your folders on the computer to find these, or get into the program and go to File, Open. You still can do that, but Adobe puts it here, makes it very handy for you to open a project on start. Next, underneath Recent, you're going to find Libraries. These are just collections of assets that you've used. Adobe's doing a lot of work in their Creative Suite right now to help you collect different items that you're using, different fonts, different colors, your color palette, graphics, everything you might be using. Say you have a business and you have logos and a specific font you guys like to use, a specific color. It's going to collect those, and you could choose those libraries and load them into this project, as well as other Adobe software. So in this tab, you're going to find your different libraries if you want to work with that. And below that is sync settings. What sync settings are is a collection of your different habits and the way you like to see the software. So later on, when we get into the software, you're going to see I'm going to be showing you how you can customize your workspace, customize your tools, and the way you like the program to look. These sync settings allow you to go on somebody else's computer and load up those settings and work in a workspace that's comfortable and native to you. It's really useful if you're an editor and you work a lot of freelance jobs, as I do, where you might be working on several different computers at the same time. This allows you to just load up those customized settings and get right into your work. So below Sync Settings, you're going to find the New Project button. This is exactly what it says it's going to do. It's going to open up a prompt to build a new project. And below that, you will find Open Project. It's a little more expansive than what you'll find in the recent items and will allow you to navigate through your hard drive to find a specific file that you want to open. So in this project, we're going to begin. I am going to click New Project, and it's going to give me a dialog to create a new project. Within General, we have several options: video rendering and playback, video, audio, and capture options. The first one up here is video rendering and playback. Basically, what this is Adobe has developed a system called the Mercury Playback Engine, which is going to take the task of compressing and speeding up the way your computer processes the digital video files that you're seeing. Basically, once you get into the edit, you're going to be compositing video, adding effects to video, titles, layering video. It's going to be a tedious task for your computer, and what Adobe is going to do is use your GPU accelerator, basically the graphics card on your computer, to ease that. If you have a good graphics card on your computer, this is what you want to use: the Mercury Playback Engine GPU acceleration. That's going to utilize that and make everything look much smoother. If, though, you have a bad graphics card or an older graphics card, you might want to use the Mercury Playback Engine software only. This will just use the software built into the Adobe product to make everything play smooth and will not rely on your graphics card. So I'm starting my project. I'm going to keep this on its default GPU accelerator. Beneath that, you're going to find the video options. This is the video display format, and this is basically how you want to display your time code. Most video uses standard time code: hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Although you're using film, or you're editing film or a film transfer, you might want to deal in feet and frames, because that's going to allow your transfer later, an easier way to process this footage. So it gives you two options: 16mm film, 35mm film, or just in plain frames. We're going to leave this on regular timecode because we're just dealing with digital video, as I assume most of you will be doing. So below video, you're going to find the audio display format options. There are two options to this: audio samples and milliseconds. Most of us are going to work in audio samples. This is showing the hours, seconds, minutes, and then sample size or bitrate, and is the standard way to view audio. So in other words, a digital audio recorder is going to usually sample 48,000 samples per second of sound. What this will do is that last number, instead of being frames in video, it's going to be the instances of samples. So you could really hone in and get an exact measure of where you are in your audio. The other option is to change it to milliseconds, which is less standard, but if you prefer to use that, you have the option right here. Below audio, you're going to find your capture settings. The capture format is set to DV or HDV. I'm going to switch that back to HDV here. The thing is, we're not going to be using this at all because we are not capturing video. We are just bringing in a digital file. Below that, there's a toggle for display the project item name and label color for all instances. This really isn't going to affect much, and we will leave that on. And that's our General tab. Next to the General tab, you're going to find the Scratch Disks tab. These scratch disks are basically where your computer is going to put all of the files that it's building as it renders and makes edits to your video. So you're going to want to have this set to somewhere that has a lot of space on it. I like to keep that in the same folder as where my entire project is. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to change the location of everything on my project using this browse button. I'm going to be putting it on my external hard drive right here, labeled with my last name. And I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it Rock Climber, because that is the footage we're going to be editing with. I'll choose this. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to put another folder inside of there, call it Edit. And we'll set this as the location for our Premiere Pro file so that all of its associated files will put themselves into that folder. So I just set the location for this entire edit. I'm going to set a name for my edit. We'll call it Rock Climber. And that will be the name of my project. So as I was talking about scratch disks, you could see below, we have options to change everything where all of our associated files go. The scratch disk, again, is the place where our files are stored that the system is building itself. There's two ways to go about this. Project-based would have all of our files stored in the same folder as our project. That's what this is all set to as default. Or system-based. System-based is good if you're editing on a networked system and you're basically using the same files other editors might be using. We're not doing that in this instance, so we're going to set everything to same as project. Right now, the video previews were set to the documents folder. I'm going to move that back to same as project, and as you can see, our captured video, captured audio, video previews, audio previews, and audio and project autosave files will go to same as project. Project autosave is a great feature and it has saved me many times. It's going to frequently save your project and duplicate it so that if something goes bad, your computer crashes, somebody changes something drastic, you could always go back through those autosave files and find your work. CC libraries downloads. Creative Cloud now offers a lot of stock footage and stock graphics, stock fonts, everything like that. It's going to give you an option here to save those to a specific place. We have that set to same as project. We're not going to be dealing with that in this project, but it's good to know it's there. As you can see, we just named this project file Rock Climber. I stored it onto my external hard drive with all the scratch disks set to the same project, so it will put all those files into the same folder, and we are ready to click OK and begin our new project. So there we go. We are into the Adobe Premiere workspace, and in our next lesson, we will go ahead and start going over that workspace.